All right, gearing up for that roadside vehicle technician interview. We're here to help you prep.
You know, it's a job that demands a unique skill set. You're not just a mechanic, you're a problem solver on the go, dealing with cars, A&D people, sometimes under pressure.
Exactly. So think of this deep dive as your roadside assistance kit for that interview. We'll break down those tricky questions and give you a real feel for what this career is all about.
Sounds good.
Okay, first question. It's a classic. Tell us about your experience working on roadside vehicles. Seems straightforward, but what are they really digging for?
Proof. Proof you can handle the unexpected, that you can think on your feet. Resourcefulness, adaptability, being comfortable in a situation that's probably a bit chaotic.
Because even if you haven't had an official roadside technician gig before, there's got to be relevant experience,
Right,
right?
absolutely. Think about it. Have you ever diagnosed a car problem? Maybe worked on your own car or friends? Figured out a fix with whatever you had on hand?
Like that time my buddy's car died and we used a coat hanger and some tape to rig it up.
Exactly. Those are the stories that'll resonate. It shows you can think outside the box, get things done. Those are transferable skills, valuable no matter what.
So instead of just saying I've changed oil, I should talk about how I diagnosed a weird engine noise, maybe even the creative solution I came up with.
Exactly. Even if it was just using duct tape and a prayer, the point is you figured it out. And you weren't afraid to get your hands dirty.
I like it. Show them you're not afraid to get under the hood.
That's it. And don't forget, even that junior roadside vehicle technician profile we looked at, it emphasized diagnostics, troubleshooting. You've likely done that even in a DIY setting.
Makes sense. So next question. This one feels like a puzzle. How do you prioritize repairs when working on a vehicle that's broken down on the side of the road? So much to consider in that moment.
A lot to consider, and under pressure, too. They want to see your thought process, how you stay calm and think logically.
Right, because first and foremost, it's got to be about safety. Getting the vehicle and everyone inside out of harm's way off the road if possible.
Absolutely. Flares, cones, making sure the scene is safe. Then you can assess the vehicle, figure out which repairs get it moving again.
Because you're probably dealing with limited resources, time constraints.
Exactly. Effective prioritizing is crucial, especially in that environment.
It's interesting looking at RoleCatcher's breakdown of responsibilities that entry-level roadside vehicle technician is more about assisting, while junior and senior involve more independent decisions.
Yeah, you see that progression, right?
So even at the entry level, showing that I'm thinking about safety, thinking ahead, that's got to be a good thing.
Absolutely. Shows you understand the situation's bigger than just fixing a car. You're responsible for people's safety, too. Okay, let's move on to this one. Can you explain your experience with electronic diagnostic tools?
This feels important. The automotive world's gone high-tech. It's not just wrenches and screwdrivers anymore.
Nope, not at all. Cars are complex, computerized. Diagnostic tools are essential, no question. The interviewer wants to know you can use them out there on the road.
So instead of just saying I'm familiar with them, I should be specific, like the actual tools and software I've used.
Exactly. And you know what can really help here? RoleCatcher's AI. Their interviews section lets you practice, get feedback tailored to the specific job.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I can practice talking about my experience, say, with OBD toy scanners, even specific software, and get AI feedback on how I'm explaining it.
It's like having a virtual coach, helping you fine-tune those answers, make sure you're hitting the right points. Really helpful.
That's incredibly useful. Okay, this next question feels like they're peering into my brain. Can you walk us through your process for diagnosing a vehicle issue?
This is where you show off your systematic approach, not just randomly trying things, but a methodical way of figuring things out.
Like I'm a detective, gathering clues.
Exactly, a car detective. You're piecing together evidence, figuring out why the car's acting up.
So I got to showcase those troubleshooting and critical thinking abilities, those core skills RoleCatcher highlights.
You got it. And stories help here too. Think of a tricky car problem you solve, even on your own vehicle. Walk them through your steps, how you thought it through.
Show them I can apply the knowledge, not just that I have it.
Right. Okay, next up. How do you stay current on industry developments and new technologies? With electric and hybrid vehicles, things are changing fast. Fast is an understatement. They want to see you're committed to learning, to keeping up. Reading car magazines is a start, but they're looking for more.
So, mentioning specific publications I follow, workshops I've attended, online forums, maybe even a particular area I'm interested in.
That's it. You're not just keeping up, you're actively seeking out the cutting edge.
Like saying, I'm not just along for the ride, I'm driving this thing.
Exactly. Now, this next question, it's one we all dread. How do you handle difficult customers or situations on the side of the road? Because it's not just the car that's broken down, it's the driver who's stressed.
Yeah, big time. You got to stay calm, professional, even when they're not.
Exactly. This question's about your people skills, your ability to de-escalate. Can you remain calm, empathetic, even when things get heated?
So demonstrating those customer and personal service abilities, right? Those are key according to RoleCatcher.
You got it. Think of a challenging customer you've dealt with, maybe someone who is really frustrated. How'd you handle it? How'd you leave them satisfied?
So a story that shows I can communicate well, manage expectations, even turn a negative situation positive.
Exactly. And remember, you can always use RoleCatcher's AI to practice these answers, get feedback. It's like having a personal coach, helping you fine-tune your responses.
That's such a valuable tool. Takes the guesswork out of it. Okay, next question. How do you ensure the safety of yourself and others while working on the side of the road? This one feels crucial considering the risks.
It is. Interviewers need to see that you prioritize safety, that you take it seriously. What specific steps do you take to protect yourself and those around you?
So I should mention things like setting up cones, wearing reflective gear, being super aware of traffic. And RoleCatcher pointed out those cons of the job, like working in all weather, exposure to hazards.
Right. Acknowledging those risks and showing how you mitigate them. That's key.
Like mentioning specific safety protocols I follow. Maybe always using a wheel chock when I'm under a vehicle. Or always checking for traffic before getting out.
That's it. Specific actions, not just saying safety is important. You're demonstrating a real commitment to it. Okay, next one. How do you handle multiple service calls in a day? Sounds like time management is key here. Oh, it's a juggling act for sure. You could have a flat tire on the highway, a dead battery somewhere else, a jump start request, all at once.
That's intense. And RoleCatcher mentioned flexible hours, long shifts, being on call, so definitely sounds like multitasking is key.
Definitely. They want to know you can handle the pressure, keep it all straight. A great way to answer this is with a real-life example, a time you juggled multiple demands, maybe even under pressure.
So maybe talking about juggling multiple projects or even errands and appointments. The point is showing those time management skills.
Exactly. Highlight how you prioritize, stay organized, ensure everything gets done on time and to a high standard. Okay, moving on to a question that might not apply to every roadside tech, but it's a good one. Can you explain your experience with diesel engines?
So this is a bit more specialized, but if the job involves trucks or larger vehicles, having that diesel knowledge is a big advantage.
Absolutely. Diesel engines are their own beast. If you've got the experience, now's the time to shine.
So I should mention specific types of diesel engines I've worked on, any training certifications I have.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher highlighted AS certifications, those T1, T8 medium heavy-duty truck series. If you have those, definitely mention them. Shows a real commitment to the field.
So even if a question seems niche, it's a chance to show those specialized skills. Okay, this one's all about going above and beyond. Can you tell us about a time when you went above and beyond for a customer?
Here's where you get to be the hero. Show your dedication to customer service. Remember, you're not just fixing cars, you're helping people out of a tough spot.
And RoleCatcher mentioned that opportunity to help people as a pro of the job. So it's about showing that genuine desire to make a difference.
Precisely. Think of a time you went the extra mile for a customer, even if it wasn't car-related. Maybe you stayed late to help someone, found a creative solution to a problem.
Highlighting those core values, those are transferable. Helpfulness, resourcefulness, going the extra mile, those are all valuable.
Exactly. Okay, before we move on to the career path itself, any other advice for listeners as they prep for these questions?
Yeah, any final tips?
Practice. Practice your answers out loud. I know it sounds silly, but it helps you get comfortable with the wording, the flow. You'll sound more natural, more confident.
It's like rehearsing for a play, right? The more you practice, the better the performance.
That's it. And don't forget to anticipate those follow-up questions. Interviewers like to dig deeper, see how you think on your feet.
So it's like having a mental toolbox ready to go. Okay, we've covered 10 common questions, given some tips on how to tackle them. Now, let's shift gears and talk about what a career in this field actually looks like.
All right, let's talk career path. Because landing the job is just the first step, right? We want you to thrive in this career long term.
And RoleCatcher's guide is great for that. It lays out the different stages of a roadside vehicle technician's career, from entry level all the way to senior lead. Fascinating to see how the responsibilities change.
Each stage is broken down, right? Typical responsibilities, required skills, even an example profile. It gives you a real picture of what to expect.
So at the entry level, it's about learning. assisting more experienced techs, building those foundation skills. You're not expected to know everything right away.
Exactly. It's a gradual progression. Each stage builds on the last. As you move up, you take on more responsibility, independent repairs, leading a team, eventually maybe even mentoring others.
The guide emphasizes that continuous learning is vital for advancement. It's not just about putting in the hours, but actively seeking out ways to grow your knowledge.
Absolutely crucial, especially with how fast automotive technology changes. Certifications, workshops, staying on top of industry trends, it all matters.
So it's like saying, I'm not just here for a job. I'm here to master my craft.
Exactly. And that dedication, it shows to employers throughout your career. And let's not forget networking. The guide talks about connecting with others in the field.
Building that network, colleagues, mentors, industry experts, they can offer advice, share insights, open doors.
Exactly. Industry events, professional organizations, online forums, it all helps.
So we've covered the interview process, the career path, but I'm really curious about how RoleCatcher's AI can help with all of this.
Now we're talking. RoleCatcher isn't just information. It's a tool that uses AI to give you a personalized edge.
Let's start with the CV resume builder. I hear it can actually tailor my resume to specific jobs.
It does. The AI looks at the job description, your resume, then suggests improvements. Makes it more relevant, more likely to catch the hiring manager's eye.
So it's strategic, not just keywords and formatting. It's about highlighting the skills that matter most for that particular job.
Exactly. Helps you stand out from the crowd. And then there's the interviews section, which has a ton of interview questions, even specific to roadside vehicle technicians.
I've heard it even uses AI to give feedback on your answers, helps you refine how you're communicating.
Like having a personal interview coach. It analyzes what you say, suggests ways to make it stronger, clearer.
And what about that career compass feature? I know it's like personalized career guidance, but how does it work?
The career compass looks at your skills, interests, goals, then suggests career paths, steps you can take, like a career counselor who really knows you.
So it's not just about finding a job, it's about finding the right fit for you. That's incredible.
Exactly. It's about empowering you to take control of your career, make choices that align with your passions.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Interview prep, career insights, how RoleCatcher's AI can help. Feels like we've given our listeners a pretty good toolkit.
We have, but remember, it's just the start. The journey of a roadside vehicle technician is full of learning, challenges, rewards.
Like we've given them a roadmap, a well-stocked toolbox, and a boost of confidence to tackle this exciting career path.
And remember, this deep dive is just the spark plug. Your drive, your willingness to learn, that's the fuel.
Before we wrap up, let's recap those key takeaways. Showcase those relevant skills, even if you haven't officially been a roadside vehicle technician. Did you tinker with your car, troubleshoot a friend's engine? Maybe you're a whiz at IKEA instructions?
It's about those transferable skills. Diagnostics, problem solving, customer service. Those are gold.
And don't just list those skills. Tell stories. Think back to when you thought on your feet, solved a problem. Those anecdotes show you can handle this job's demands.
And don't shy away from the technical stuff. Brush up on those concepts. Familiarize yourself with those diagnostic tools. Be ready to explain things clearly.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI. The resume builder, the interview practice with feedback, that career compass, those tools are there to give you an edge.
It's like having a team in your corner, guiding you every step of the way. And the best part, it's all free.
Exactly. RoleCatcher is about empowering you to achieve your goals. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. What makes you uniquely qualified for this role? What are your strengths? What experiences have shaped you? What sets you apart?
Think about that. Embrace those unique qualities. Let your passion shine through in interviews and throughout your career.
Because when you're genuinely excited about what you do, it makes a difference.
And remember, breakdowns happen, but your career doesn't have to.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of roadside vehicle technicians. Good luck on your journey, and remember, keep those engines running.
Absolutely. It's a juggling act for sure. You could have a flat tire on the highway, a dead battery somewhere else, a jump start request all at once.
That's a lot to handle.
Huh.
And RoleCatcher mentioned flexible hours, long shifts, being on call, so multitasking is definitely a must-have.
Definitely. They want to see you can handle that pressure, keep everything straight. A good way to answer this one is with a real-life example. A time you juggled a bunch of things, maybe even under pressure.
So, like talking about juggling projects, or even errands and appointments. The point is showing I can manage my time.
Exactly. Highlight how you prioritize, stay organized, make sure everything gets done on time and to a high standard.
Okay, moving on. This question might not apply to every roadside tech, but it's good to be prepared. Can you explain your experience with diesel engines?
So this is getting into more specialized skills.
Huh.
But if the job involves trucks, bigger vehicles, knowing about diesels is a big plus, right?
Rig Plus. Diesel engines, they're a different animal. If you've got that experience, now's the time to really showcase it.
I should mention the types of diesel engines I've worked on, any specific training I have, certifications. Exactly. And remember those ASE certifications RoleCatcher mentioned, specifically the T1, T8 medium heavy-duty truck series. If you've got those, definitely bring them up.
So even if a question seems niche, it's a chance to highlight those specialized skills that set me apart. Okay, let's talk about going above and beyond. Can you tell us about a time when you went above and beyond for a customer?
This is your chance to be the hero. Show them you're dedicated to customer service. Remember, you're not just fixing cars, you're helping people who are probably stressed, stranded.
Yeah, and RoleCatcher listed that as a pro of the job, that opportunity to help people. It's about showing you genuinely care about making a difference.
Exactly. Think of a time you went that extra mile, even if it wasn't car-related. Maybe you stayed late to help someone out or found a really creative solution to a problem.
It's those core values, right? Helpfulness, resourcefulness, going above and beyond. Those are valuable no matter what the job is.
You got it. Okay, before we move on to talking about building a career in this field, is there anything else you think listeners should keep in mind as they prep for these interview questions?
Any final tips?
One thing I always tell people, practice your answers out loud. It might feel a little weird, but it helps you get comfortable with what you're going to say. You'll sound more natural, more confident.
Like a rehearsal, right? The more you practice, the better the performance.
Exactly. And don't forget about those follow-up questions. Interviewers love to dig a little deeper, see how you think on your feet.
So it's like having a mental toolbox ready to go. Okay, we've talked about 10 common questions, given some tips on how to approach them. Now let's talk about what a career in this field really looks like. What's the path? The progression.
All right, let's talk career path. Because landing the job, that's just the beginning, right? We want to equip you to really succeed in this career long term.
And RoleCatcher's Guide is great for that. It outlines the different stages of a roadside vehicle technician's career, from entry level all the way up to senior lead. It's interesting to see how the responsibilities change at each level.
Yeah, it breaks down each stage, right? Typical responsibilities, skills you need, even example profiles. It gives you a real sense of what to expect.
So for someone just starting out at the entry level, it's more about learning, assisting the more experienced techs, building those basic skills. You're not expected to be an expert right away.
Right. It's gradual. You build on what you learn. As you move up, you take on more responsibility, doing repairs on your own, maybe leading a team, even mentoring new techs down the line.
And the guide emphasizes that you got to keep learning if you want to move up. It's not just about working a certain number of hours. It's about always looking for ways to learn more, improve your skills.
That's super important, especially with automotive technology always evolving. Certifications, workshops, staying on top of trends, it all adds up.
It's like saying, hey, I'm not just here for a paycheck. I'm here to really master this.
Exactly. And that kind of dedication, it shows to potential employers and throughout your career. Oh, and let's not forget networking. The guide talks about how important it is to connect with other people in the field.
Building that network of colleagues, mentors, people who know the industry. They can offer advice, share insights, maybe even help you find new opportunities.
Exactly. Going to industry events, joining professional organizations, even participating in online forums, all of that helps.
Okay, so we've covered interviews, career path, but I'm really curious about how RoleCatcher's AI can actually help with all this.
Ah, now this is where things get interesting. RoleCatcher isn't just about giving you information. It uses AI to give you a personalized advantage.
Let's start with that CV resume builder.
Hmm.
I've heard it can actually tailor your resume to specific jobs. Is that right?
That's right. The AI looks at the job description and your resume, then it gives you suggestions on how to make it even better. Makes it more relevant to that specific job, more likely to get noticed.
So it's not just about keywords and formatting. It's about really highlighting the skills that matter most for that job.
Exactly. It helps you stand out from the crowd. And then there's the interview section. It has tons of interview questions, even ones specifically for roadside vehicle technicians.
I've heard it can even give you feedback on your answers using AI. Like it helps you refine how you're communicating, make sure you're hitting the right points.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket. It analyzes what you're saying, suggests ways to make it stronger, clearer, more impactful.
And what about the career compass? I know it's supposed to help you figure out your career path, but how does it actually work?
The Career Compass looks at your skills, your interests, your goals, and then suggests possible career paths and steps you can take. It's like having a career counselor who really gets you.
So it's not just about finding a job, it's about finding the right job, the right fit for you. That's pretty amazing.
It is. It gives you the power to make informed choices about your career, choices that are aligned with your passions. It is. It's about empowering you to take control of your career, to make those decisions that feel right for you.
Okay, we've covered a lot. Interview prep, career insights, how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a boost. I think we've given our listeners a pretty good toolkit.
We have, but it's just the beginning. This roadside vehicle technician journey, it's all about learning, facing challenges, and knowing you're helping people out there.
It's like we've given them that roadmap, a well-stocked toolbox, and a shot of confidence to take on this career.
Exactly. And this deep dive, well, it's just the spark plug. Your drive, your willingness to learn, that's the fuel.
Before we sign off, let's recap those key takeaways. First up, showcase those relevant skills. Even if you haven't officially been a roadside vehicle technician, think back. Did you tinker with your car? Troubleshoot a friend's engine problem? Maybe you're just really good at deciphering IKEA instructions.
It's about those transferable skills. You know, diagnostics, problem solving on the fly, being good with people. Those are valuable no matter what.
And don't just list them, tell stories. Those anecdotes, those moments where you had to think fast, solve a problem. They really bring those skills to life.
Right. And don't be afraid to get a little technical, too.
Yeah.
Brush up on those mechanical concepts, get familiar with common diagnostic tools, and be ready to explain things clearly.
And of course, RoleCatcher's AI is there to help you every step of the way. Use that resume builder, practice those interview questions with the AI feedback, and don't forget about the career compass.
Those tools are amazing. It's like having a whole team in your corner guiding you along. And you know the best part, it's all free.
Totally. RoleCatcher really wants you to reach your goals. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of roadside vehicle technicians, I want to leave you with this thought. What makes you uniquely qualified for this role? What are your strengths, those experiences that have shaped you? What makes you stand out?
Think about those things. Embrace what makes you unique. Let your passion and knowledge shine through in your interviews and throughout your career. Because when you're genuinely excited about your work, it shows. And it makes all the difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of roadside vehicle technicians. Good luck on your journey. And remember, keep those engines running.
You got it.